Week 2 is in the books. That means it's time for quarterback rankings. Jack, are you ready?
Let's talk about people who throw the pigskin.
Someone who doesn't throw it particularly well is Joe Flacco at his advanced age. He was okay in week 1, but week 2 was really rough. 41 passing grade, had a horrendous interception, had a strip sack fumble, 3 turnover worthy plays, 0 big time throws. In fact, his touchdown was graded as a turnover worthy play because it goes off of a Raven, Marlon Humphrey, off of another Raven, Kyle Hamilton, and into the arms of Cedric Tillman for a touchdown. So a very strange play, but Flacco, you're in the basement, pal.
Yeah, that was one of the weirder touchdowns I've seen. I kept saying last year that Joe Flacco doesn't age. He
Mm-hmm.
might have aged finally.
Yeah, it was bad, and it was bad decisions too. It's throwing on the run. It's like, Joe, I've seen you do that. Don't do that when you're like in your prime. Especially don't do that when you're basically 40 now. So now we have a run of backup quarterbacks. Carson Wentz. Last year he made one start with the Chiefs. It wasn't very good. 44 passing grade, no touchdowns, no picks, uh, under 6 yards an attempt, 98 yards on 17 pass attempts. Ick. My question here is JJ McCarthy, is he 100% hurt? And is there any reason why the Vikings might let McCarthy just sit on the bench for a couple weeks? Because he has been pretty bad in 7 out of 8 quarters so far.
Yeah, he's played one quarter. And other than that, it's like there's definitely a lack of experience. Obviously, the injury last year stinks, but yeah, we're gonna need to see a lot more out of JJ McCarthy after that. Obviously, hopefully he is okay. That's the most important thing, is that, like, if he's hurt, then hopefully that he can recover from that soon. But Minnesota definitely invested a lot in JJ, so far he's gonna need to show a bit more.
Mm-hmm. I am excited to see Wentz with offensive mastermind Kevin O'Connell. So I don't know if we get another Sam Darnold situation or if it's more like a Josh Dobbs, Nick Mullins situation. Who knows? Marcus Mariota. Now, to Mariota's credit, he was really good last year in some backup duty, mop-up duty for Washington. He came in and dealed against Carolina, 2 touchdowns, 205 yards, 90 passing grade, 3 big-time throws. And then week 18 against Dallas, 85 passing grade, 2 touchdowns, 161 yards, 91 passing grade last year. That's awesome. In previous years, that was not the Marcus Mariota we came to know and love. I don't know what to expect. They should be Vegas. It's a revenge game for Marcus. I don't know. He gets to start with another team, so that's fun.
Yeah, I guess this is just one of those wait and see type of things.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels is day to day, according to Dan Quinn. Thanks. Mac Jones. Not bad. Last week against the Saints, it was fine. A 60 passing grade, 3 touchdowns, 279 yards. That all looks great. A lot of that wasn't Mac Jones his doing, right? That was more of a
You played against the Saints?
yeah, played against the Saints, really good weapons, the McCaffreys of the world and whatnot. So, yes, the stats looked impressive. 279 and 3 touchdowns. That was replicated by Jared Goff. That was it. Jared Goff was the only other quarterback with three plus touchdowns and 280 yards. The problem is, and no picks. The problem is a lot of that wasn't off Mac Jones being special. It was more off of his weapons being special.
Sounds just like any other Niners QB these days.
Oof. Number 28, Tyrod Taylor, the GOAT, the Super Bowl champion, Tyrod Taylor. Very good against the Bills, to his credit. 88 passing grade, touchdown, 7 for 11, 2 drops in there. And he is a different kind of quarterback than Justin Fields. He still has some of the rushing ability. Obviously, he's not Justin Fields, but he'd still get a plus in that category. And he's much more safe with the football. The last time he had any sort of extended run, 2023 Giants, 17 big-time throws, 3 turnover-worthy plays. If the Jets get that, they will be able to compete with the Bucs. I'll say that.
How about that? Tyrod Taylor, for once, gets a chance to sort of have a career resurrection instead of someone else, instead of a QB getting like a big break on their career because of Tyrod's own misfortune. The shoe's on the other foot for once. So
yeah, great to see Tyrod back.
And hopefully Justin's
the starting spot. Hopefully Justin Fields recovers quickly. You love watching Justin Fields, but it's good to see Tyrod back.
Yeah.
Jake Browning. This is the catastrophic injury of week 2. Joe Burrow is out for 3 months. You could read that as 3 months, or you could read that as out for the entire season. Browning was a starter back in 2023 for 7 games. The Bengals went 4-3. Browning 12 touchdowns, 7 picks that season, 74 passing grade, 9 big time throws, 11 turnover worthy plays. He loves to good chuck it to the defense, but I will say the offense will be able to move the football. So if you have Chase and Higgins in fantasy, I wouldn't be trading them. I would be, in fact, buying them.
Yeah, impressive win for the Bengals, I'll be honest, because it's not easy to win a game like that going down your starting QB. Obviously, that's probably why it was as close as it was, but I feel like that was one of the more interesting games of this past week. So
yeah, a very
good for
bad
Browning.
loss for Jacksonville. We'll talk about Jacksonville momentarily.
Yeah.
Number 26, Bryce Young. It's all very bad. The PFF grade doesn't even do it justice because the 57.9 grade, 2 big time throws, 3 turnover worthy plays, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, 328 yards. A lot of that was when the Panthers were down 27-3, 27-9, 27-15. And then when the game was on the line, 27-22, he was bad. And when the game was in the balance early on, he was bad. So, Bryce, you move up 2 spots because there's 5 backup quarterbacks starting this week, but in most universes, you'd be number 31.
The Panthers are crying for help as we speak.
They need it bad.
Bad.
Speaking of needing help bad, Bo Nix, it's a problem. It is genuinely a problem. A 48 passing grade, ironically enough, better than week 1, so he's slowly making progress, but he loves throwing it to the defense. And this, Bo Nix that is throwing the ball to the defense is not a good Bo Nix. He last year, and why Sean Payton drafted him in the first place was his ability to get it buttoned up and his ability to not turn the ball over and not take sacks and not have these negative plays. Well, now you're just throwing the ball to the defense, so that's irrelevant. Like, what are we doing? Yes, 3 touchdowns, 206 yards, 73% completion. Like, that sounds good, but the throws to get you there were not good. Figure it out. You had the Chargers this week, so this is a bad week to throw the ball to the defense.
Agreed.
We're out of the bottom quarter. Cam Ward was better in week 2. Jack, you can speak to that.
I can,
Ward had
yeah.
probably the throw of the week. Back across his body, the classic Brett Favre, but this is a no, yes, a big touchdown to Alec Eiermanner.
It was a yes, no for me, but yes, sure, you're right.
Yeah, exactly. That was one of his 2 big time throws. That was his only touchdown. 175 yards. He's getting his feet under him. The Titans haven't been able to pass protect. The Colts offer a better team to pass block against. You don't have Jared Verse screaming off the edge. You don't have Denver's suffocating defense. So maybe Cam Ward has a nice performance to get his first career win.
Yeah, you don't have Jared Verse, you don't have Nate Landman running at you, Byron Young running at you the whole time. So, but yeah, Cam Ward, those were a few special plays on Sunday. So the flashes are there. I think that people who are calling the game for CBS 2 were talking about it quite a lot. There are reasons to get excited if you're in Tennessee. There are reasons to believe in this team's future, but I think it is still a little ways away. But Cam, like you said, getting his feet under him, and he'll be fine going forward, I think.
Yeah, for sure. All right, number 23. This is before Thursday Night Football when Tua looked pretty mid again. 61 passing grade last week, 2 touchdowns, 1 horrendous interception at the end of the game. Just Tua, if you're gonna have the shtick that you throw the ball, you get the ball out quickly, you don't need your offensive line to pass protect. You just throw it to Hill, throw it to Waddle, throw it to Achane. They do stuff after the catch. All of that is fine and dandy, but you can't throw the ball to the defense as consistently as you do. It's as simple as that.
There's a reason your name is Tua Tagovailoa and not Tua Turn the Ball Over.
Yes.
Figure that out.
Yeah, figure it out, please. And the new information, he wasn't great against the Bills. The Rat Man, Spencer freaking Rattler. He's been okay. He's been rock solid for the Saints last week. 207 yards, 3 touchdowns, 72 passing grade, 2 big time throws, 1 turnover worthy play. The problem, I guess, with Rattler so far is he did fumble against the Saints, against the 49ers, pardon. And the fourth quarter has been not great. And the first quarter has been not great. But the middle of the game, like if you want betting opportunities, live bet the Saints in the second quarter, live bet the Saints in the third quarter. They've been productive in those quarters. So I like what I've seen from Rattler. He's probably been the second best quarterback from his draft class this season. We'll get to QB1 momentarily. It's not the next guy. The next guy is been okay, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because he's the number 1 pick. So whatever.
Sure.
Speaking of, hey, Caleb, hello. you weren't the problem. Week
No.
1, you weren't great. Week 2, you're not the problem. Your team allowed 52 points. 2 big time throws, 2 turnover worthy plays, 207 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was fine. Uh, it's just average quarterback play. I don't have much more to say. It was average quarterback play.
Yeah, it's again, like you said, it's just when your defense is out there being a bunch of Swiss cheese and turnstiles, it's like, okay,
Mhm.
well, what are you even gonna do at this point?
Right,
So
exactly. There's really not much that Caleb could do. Number 20. Oh god. Trevor Lawrence, this does not include the fact that he has caused Brian Thomas Jr. to stop loving the game of football. Just man, I'll give Trevor credit. He had the game won. He put the ball on Diami Brown's numbers, and Diami Brown dropped the ball that would have ended the game. 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, 2 really bad interceptions. Had a fumble in there. 0 big time throws, turnover worthy play. 294 yards is nice, but it's against the Bengals defense that we don't really know how good it is. So there's questions all over the place with Trevor. And Trevor, it's time to answer those questions. In theory, you have 2, I don't want to say elite wide receivers, but in theory, you have 2 really good wide receivers. You have Brian Thomas, who had 1,200 yards last season. You have Travis Hunter, the number 2 pick in the freaking draft. So please, can you figure it out? Perhaps is that too much to ask?
still feel like we need to get a bit more clarity on whether Travis Hunter is even a wide receiver or cornerback. Although he is looking more wide receiver right now because he's taking all the snaps at receiver and then more and more slowly like at cornerback. But yeah, Lawrence just those questions need to be answered at some point soon because I've said it before. At some point, you're gonna see, and I think Trevor Lawrence is basically at this point. We've stopped the whole he's still developing phase. It's kind of like you
Mhm.
got to show something.
Right.
You got to show your team why they invested on you, or there are going to be problems.
Yeah, and it's a $50 million problem. That's the thing. It'd be one thing if he was on a rookie deal still, or was on a cheaper deal like if Carson Wentz stinks this week, he's on a backup contract deal. If Daniel Jones starts underperforming, his version of it's not underperforming his contract. Or Russell Wilson, it's not underperforming his contract. But Trevor, he's underperforming his contract. It's as
Yeah,
simple as that. And the Jags need him to be better. The Jags have been able to establish the run. They've gotten a lot of production out of ETN. They've gotten a lot of production out of Bashal Tutin. Um, they're moving the ball, but the quarterback is letting them down. Number 19, Aaron Rodgers. Last week was such a strange week. So
it
week
really
1,
was.
it's all hunky dory. 4 touchdowns against the Jets. You get the win, and then this last week it was really rough. Passing grade again in the 60s, 2 picks, 2 big time throws, 2 turnover worthy plays. And the funny thing is, one of the interceptions was like not his fault, but he had another play that he threw it right to a Seattle Seahawk, and it just went off his face mask. So you win some, you lose some. Rodgers, I had some pushback week 1. I didn't think he played all that well. I thought Arthur Smith was in his bag, and the Jets had some busted coverages. Week 2, I thought Rodgers didn't play particularly well, and the stats reflected that.
Yeah, not really whole much to say there. I mean, when you make the Seahawks look good, there's problems.
Okay, Jack.
I'm just saying.
Uh, Russell
Speaking of
freaking
Seahawks, or at least
Wilson.
former Seahawks,
Oh man, a coming out party, if you will. 450 yards, 3 touchdowns, a pick, a horrendous interception.
awful interception. I
Just,
was so bummed out for him.
you
I
can't
wanted the
throw
Giants
that.
to win that game just for sheer chaos, and they were so close.
Oh, you can't make that throw. But yeah, Ross, 85 passing grade, 6 big time throws. He had an average depth of target of 13 and a half yards. That is bombs away. He was unbelievable.
That
You had the
is
connection with Neighbors going and Wandale Robinson. I loved it. More of that, Russ, please.
yes. That is like I'm not even kidding. This was like when the Seahawks were in back-to-back Super Bowls, Russell Wilson. So
Mhm.
more of that, and the Giants like actually like looked like a competent team last week. And
Yeah. That was a
who knows?
great game. That
Yeah,
was
it
a
was a really good game.
wonderful
Yeah,
game.
that was one of those games where it's like I was watching Red Zone, and then like
Mhm.
that was on the side during the Rams game because the Rams had the early morning slate. But then when the Rams won that, I immediately turned my attention to the Giants Cowboys game.
Fair. That was a great game. And another great game, Drake May. 83 overall grade, 78 passing grade, 2 touchdowns, 230 yards, 1 big time throw, no turnover worthy plays. That's what I've been asking you, Drake. You're on this Josh Allen path. People compare you to Josh Allen. Well, early in Josh's career, he liked to throw the ball to the defense. He'd like to fumble. Well, if he doesn't turn the ball over, he's now the best quarterback in the NFL, or widely perceived as the best quarterback in the NFL. Drake May, if you do the same thing, you can be awesome in this league because you have the high end stuff. You just have too much of the negative stuff. And this week, no negatives. Great job.
Yeah, good stuff from Drake May. Trending in the right direction.
Absolutely. Number 16, Michael Penix. Only ahead of Drake because he had a higher starting point. He was fine. He wasn't asked to do a whole lot. He only threw the ball 21 times, 13 to 21 for 135 yards. Drake London has been oddly quiet. Figure it out, please. I bet my hard-earned money on him. No touchdowns, no picks, no big-time throws, no turnover with the plays. Just kind of a vanilla quarterback performance. Good job. You won. You beat a tough defense. That's about all.
Get in there, play bad, and get out. That was basically the philosophy of the Falcons based on the way they played that game.
Yep. All right, number 15, Gino. Oh,
That
I want
was
to have faith. I understand Brock Bowers was hurt. I understand you can't run block, so you can't establish the run with Genty. But you can't throw the ball to the defense. The Chargers set not a record, but like they defended 15 passes. That means there were 15 passes that went from Gino's arm and hit a Charger first. That's not good. 3 of them ended as picks. Tarheeb Steele is going to be in my team of the week. Diane Henley is in my team of the week. The Chargers ate you alive. Now, this week, you get to pick on Marshawn Lattimore. So go ham. Figure it out. A 34 passing grade for a team that could make the play. This could be a kind of game that if you win, you make the playoffs. If you lose, you don't make the playoffs. Yeah, 0 big time throws, 3 turnover worthy plays, a 34 passing grade, not good enough, Gino.
Yeah, that was a game that I'm very disappointed that I stayed up late to watch on a Monday night doubleheader. I'm not saying the Monday night doubleheader experiment necessarily needs to end, but games like this cannot be given their own window. Like, that was just not good football.
Like, if that was a 4 o'clock game, it wouldn't, or 1 o'clock for you, 4 o'clock for me. Like, fine. That's how all of those games go, basically. But that was just a stinky performance. And Gino was so good in week 1. And it was so bad in week 2, so who knows. Number 14, CJ Stroud, 46 passing grade. Come on, CJ. I know part of it's the offensive line. I get it. But even Stroud, if the big thing out of Houston was CJ Stroud can now change plays at the line of scrimmage. He can do things at the line of scrimmage. All of that's fine and dandy. He has to be good at it, though. You can't just say, all right, toddler, you can drive a car now. That doesn't mean the toddler will be able to drive the car. Like, you can have the responsibility, but you have to be able to fulfill the responsibility. Like, I can't be president. I don't know how to be a president. Like, figure it out. And if the offensive coordinator or the center or someone on the offensive line or if Nick Chubb needs to make protection calls,
pass pro.
Yeah, that should be the priority. You can give responsibility to people, but if they aren't able to execute on the responsibility, like, come on. This is a Texans failing as much as it is a CJ Stroud failing.
Yeah, agreed.
Number 13, Danny freaking Dimes, folks.
Indiana Jones.
Bum-ba-dum-bum. Another great week. 81 passing grade, 2 big time throws, 0 turnover worthy plays. He's throwing the ball down the field, averaged at the target 10.1 yards, 316 yards and a touchdown against Denver. This is not against some schlub team. This is not against like Alabama. This is against the Denver Broncos, a team widely regarded as the best defense in the NFL, or at least the top 3 defense. Danny freaking Dimes was dropping dimes. Fair play. You have the Titans this week. That should be another win, and you're at 3-0. The Texans could be 0-3, and you are rocking and rolling.
I'm going to put it this way, because we all know what happened at the end of that Colts game. So I think, well, it is a fair argument. Maybe they should be 1-1 instead of 2-0. He played good enough to win the game.
Right.
Daniel Jones played good enough to win the game.
Yeah, he played a lot better than Bo Nix. I'll throw that out there. Number 12, Sam Darnold. Nice little bounce back. Had a solid game, 80 grade, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, 1 big time throw, 1 turnover worthy play. And he kind of got it over on the Steelers defense a little bit. Now moving up 5 is sort of a Daniels is hurt, Burrow is hurt, so I don't think Darnold is QB 12 in a normal NFL, but a top half I think is fine. And he's been perfectly adequate for the Seahawks. He had the unfortunate fumble at the end of the 49er game when Bosa shoved Abraham Lucas into Darnold. But outside of that, I think he's been really good. And even then, that's not his fault entirely.
Sure. I don't think that Darnold played awful. Some room to build, of course, but it was a good bounce back week for him. This is why I think the Seahawks are like super pesky. I always think about them in the division as like they're not going to go away that easily. Just because they look a lot worse on paper doesn't mean that they're going to play that bad all the time. So,
and they have a fun game. They can beat the Saints at home. Then you have a short week against Arizona, so you could be 3-1 in a week.
We'll see.
Speaking of Arizona, number 11, Kyler Murray. A very good game until he tried to give the game away in the fourth quarter. Touchdown, a horrendous interception, 220 yards, 82 passing grade, 2 big time throws, 1 turnover worthy play. Folks, if you are beating the Panthers, don't give the ball back to the Panthers. Because the refs become like all over the place. You start getting 15-yard penalties for no reason. You start spiraling. You start allowing onside kicks. Just neat and tidy, put the game away.
Yeah.
That's all.
For the most part, though, solid from Kyler. I mean, I think a lot of that stuff was also like not necessarily on him. Like, for crying out loud, do not allow the other team to recover an onside in this day and age.
That's going to be the only one recovered all season, probably.
Yeah, and it might be the only one recovered under the current rules right now because like you have the current rules now where you have to be trailing in the fourth quarter and then you have to like actually announce that your intent is to onside kick. If teams, the whole point of the onside kick in the first place before this year, before these changes, was teams couldn't see it coming. It was supposed to be a surprise. It was supposed to
you
catch
have the famous McAfee onside kick against Houston. You have the famous one at the start of Super Bowl 44, the Saints and the Colts. Like, it takes a lot of the strategy out, I would say, and that might be the only onside kick recovered the entire season. So Arizona, you got out of it with the dub. Kyler, you got out of it with the dub, but you made it a lot more difficult than it needed to be. Into the top 10, Jared Goff, you're back. He's alive. Good to see. 334 yards
Goof anymore.
Yep. 5 touchdowns, 1 big time throw, 84.7 passing grade. The highest remaining, actually, of any quarterback that's in the top 10. He was chucking the ball deep. He was hitting Amon-Ra St. Brown on these crossers across the middle, hitting Jameson Williams deep. They both went over 100 yards. So really excellent game from Goff. And exactly what you want to see from Goff. Turn the back to the defense, flip around, find the open man, hit him. And he did that over and over and over again. 156 rating.
I offer no complaints. You put up 52 points. Good game.
Which is funny because they had the 52-point game against Tennessee last year and Goff had like 60 yards. All right, we have the Bake Show at number 9.
The Bake Show. I haven't heard that before, but sure, why not?
Yeah, that's on First Things First. That's his go-to nickname. 2 touchdowns, 3 big time throws, 2 turnover worthy plays. So there could be some turnover regression coming, but 215 yards, 215 big yards in a come from behind win against Houston. And of course, the play of the week, 4th and 10, game on the line. Grown man Baker. Wow. My favorite part of the run is he gets hurt at the end of it, and then
he gets
Gardner Johnson is like starts yapping at him, and Baker's like, "Whoa, we're gonna stand right up and wow."
CJ Gardner Johnson's trash talking cured Baker Mayfield on the spot right there.
Oh, I love
the energy this guy has is insane. Like it's crazy to watch, but he's more than living up to the hype when he entered Cleveland. I almost said Cleveland, Tampa Bay when he was a starter. So he was on Cleveland formerly, but yeah, now he's baking touchdowns in Tampa Bay. So far so good. I mean, I got no complaints. Baker's very fun to watch.
He's him. Number 8, Jordan Love. Speaking of chucking, this man was bombs away. 15 yards average depth of target, 84 passing grade, 2 touchdowns, 292 yards, no turnovers, no big time or no turnover worthy plays. Convert 1 deep shot to Matthew Golden, and you'll be number 1, frankly.
Yeah.
Just 1. All I ask is 1. Number 7, Jalen has to fall this week. I do like Jalen. I have had him in the top 5, and he's the rare quarterback that is falling down a list of quarterbacks that is losing quarterbacks, but he just wasn't very good against the Chiefs. I know the rushes were big. He had an 80 rushing grade. That's nice. Uh, there's one throw that was good it's like nice throw, Jalen. It was not the jump ball to Devontae Smith. That's a great play by Devontae. It was not A.J. Brown's spectacular falling down one-handed catch, which was fine placement, frankly, but a better catch than placement. There was a nice slant that Hurts had. So good job. 101 passing yards, 5 passing first downs. Not exactly ideal, but maybe the Eagles have the new meta in throwing a bunch of short passes. His average depth of target was 7.3 yards, which not great. Not horrendous compared to the rest of the quarterbacks on the list, but
yeah, I would hope that the Rams did their film study on Jalen Hurts this week. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Absolutely. Number 6, Rain, Dakota, Prescott, 5 big-time throws, 2 turnover-worthy plays, 361 yards, 2 tutties, 1 pick, 81 passing grade. He was great. He has been phenomenal. He's been, like, eye test-wise, one of the top 3 or 4 quarterbacks in the league this season. CeeDee Lamb sold him in week 1. Week 2, there was no such selling, although the Cowboys receivers did drop 4 passes, but the Cowboys did end up winning the game. Brandon Aubrey hitting 2 humongous field goals. So shout out to Dak. He's on the cusp of being top 5 again.
Yeah, I mean, that game was just such a banger. I didn't think that Cowboys Giants this year was going to give us that good of a game, but that was like honestly a contender for game of the year. So great stuff from Dak.
Yeah, it overtook Baltimore Buffalo the week after. Number 5, Justin Herbert. Congratulations. I will say he probably would have been number 4 until the fourth quarter of the Raiders game when he tried to give the Raiders the game. He tried to pull a Kyler and just open the door and let the Raiders come through and win a game they had no business winning. Before that, he was spectacular. 2 touchdowns, 9 yards per attempt, big time throw, had the turnover worthy play late, gave the Raiders a chance. 68 pass grade, not great, but Herbert's been awesome this season. So fair play to him.
Yeah, this is like the one thing that I keep talking about what's holding Herbert back. It's the fourth quarter. Fix the freaking fourth quarter already. Come on. That's it.
Like that's a situation that can't happen. If that's against a better team or a team with Geno that's not throwing the ball to the defense, that's a game you lose. Yeah. If you did that against Kansas City week 1, you probably lose that game. But Raiders, yeah, you can beat the Raiders. Number 4, your guy, Matthew Stafford. He is the number 1 graded quarterback by PFF so far this season, and he balled out again against Tennessee. 2 touchdowns, horrendous interception, I'll say that. 2 big-time throws, 2 turnover-worthy plays, 77 passing grade. Just Stafford's great. He has delivered the high moments, and you got to avoid throwing the ball to the defense. That's the only thing I can poke a hole in. He is the best of the non-mutant quarterbacks right now. And literally, you could argue he's a mutant himself.
Yeah, I am going to argue that he's a mutant because look at his injury list. And the guy is still balling out like he's 20 years old. So it's like no complaints there. I mean, yeah, just the one pick is like, don't do that again, Matt. Please don't, especially not against Philly. But other than that, like I can't complain. Matthew Stafford is hauling ass. So
fair. And then the top 3 is the same as it was last week. Mahomes at 3, Lamar at 2, Josh Allen at 1. Allen was okay against the Dolphins on Thursday night, so no change there. If Lamar dominates week 2, maybe he passes, but these are the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL. Mahomes, 62 grade. I don't really care. They're going to beat the Giants this week. It'll all be fine. Lamar, 4 touchdowns. The throws weren't – he had a couple nice throws. It wasn't – his eye test wasn't 4 touchdowns and a 128 rating good, if that makes sense. And then Allen, you went into the Jets, you beat the Jets. Congratulations. So you kind of hold serve. So the top 3, it's going to be the same top 3 for a while. It's just a matter of how that triangle like moves around. If Lamar's on top or Mahomes is on top or Allen's on top. So
I would venture to say though that if Stafford balls out again against Philly of all teams too, and Mahomes puts up another one of those stinkers, then they're not necessarily a stinker, but like just not a great game. Maybe top 3.
We can have the conversation. I will say Stafford so far this season, 91 passing grade. Allen's at an 82. Mahomes is at a 67 and Lamar is at a 64. Now, Mahomes and Lamar have 90 rushing grades, so that helps them a lot. While
That
Stafford's at
does,
a
yeah.
45 rushing grade.
Stafford doesn't
So
really run the ball unless he absolutely needs to, which kind of
yeah,
bugs me a little bit, but he doesn't have the legs for it, so that's
I
never
mean,
been his
he
style.
doesn't need to run around,
Yeah.
So
I mean, you've got Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams doing that for him, so.
that's true. And Kyron Williams gets like 92% of your carries until I pick him up in fantasy. Then all of a sudden, no, Blake Corum, you exist now.
They finally used Blake Corum last week. It's crazy.
I don't want them to use Blake Corum. I want them to run Kyron.
I
Kyron
have Kyron on my fantasy team. I was telling you this too, is that like you had Kyron or you had Corum on your fantasy team or
I
bench
have
or whatever.
real dollars. I actually, in fact, have $2 on Kyron Williams overs. He's the only player in the NFL I have 2 bets on for their overs. For
Kyron
the
of all the weeks to do it, it's this week. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
let us know in the
exciting.
comments below who you think was your number 1 quarterback of the week.